Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Namavam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namini Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Vashata Dishatarini Jayu Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namusute Namo Brahmana Devaya Go Brahmana Hitaya Cha Jagat Hitaya Krishnaya Govindaya Te Namaha Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvishe Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhupya Eva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Anantakoti Vaishnavandi ki jai, Namacharya Das Thakur ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna everyone. Welcome.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna, I welcome everyone.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Okay. All glories to Shri Shri Radha Govind. Let's take their blessings and Prabhupada blessings. So today we are at part 2, right? 2 sections, only 2 sections were covered. So yesterday we saw like there were a couple of questions. There were around 8 questions by Arjun, and Krishna answered, the Lord answered all of them. So we can just quickly see the chart. Okay. So what was Brahman? Brahman means the indestructible, the living entity, the soul, right? The spirit. And what is Adhyatma? The nature of the jiva, that is Jivere Swarupai Krishnera Nityadas. And what is karma? So whatever, I mean, the actions which is leading to a material body. We get different bodies based on the karmas. The activities which keep us bounded, I mean, brings more bondage. That is called as fruitive activities. And Adibhuta. So Adibhuta is material nature, which is ever changing. And Adi Daiva is the supreme demigod. Supreme demigod means the universal form of the Lord, which is also not the highest. So many people may think universal form is the highest, but that is, Prabhupada says that is only for a neophyte devotee. The universal form is the highest, because for some people surrender by seeing fear. No? That is why Krishna shows the universal form in chapter 11. So this universal form also includes all the demigods. And Adi Yagna, he is the Paramatma, so the enjoyer of sacrifice. So, and where does he reside? He resides in the heart of all the living entity. And how to remember Krishna? So practice, this is most important. Krishna says that Tasmat Sarveshu Kaleshu Ma Manusmara Yudhyacha. So that is why always remember me. So further, how to remember, today we will see, right? So yeah. So how to do the practice, right? This is also over. Yeah. So how should we meditate upon Lord? So how can we remember Lord? By meditating. So we'll see like different ways how the Lord explains how to meditate on him. So by meditating on Krishna and his qualities, or by practicing yoga mishra bhakti, one can think of Supreme Personality of Godhead when quitting the body and reach the spiritual planet. Kavim Purana Manushasitaram Anoraniyam Samanusmaretyaha Sarvasya Dataramachintya Rupam Aditya Varnam Tamasaf Parastat. One should meditate upon the Supreme Person as one who knows everything, as he who is the oldest, who is the controller, who is the smaller than the smallest, who is maintainer of everything, who is beyond all material conception, who is inconceivable, and who is always a person. He is luminous like the sun, and being transcendental is beyond this material nature. So how to meditate upon him? So we have so here this shloka explains. So what does it says about the Lord? So Kavim means one who knows everything. So everything means the past, present, and future. So Krishna says in even chapter 4, right? Chapter 4, when Arjuna says that, how do I believe that because you are my contemporary, and how do I believe you have told this Bhagavad Gita knowledge to Vivaswan 120 million years ago? How is this possible? So then Krishna says that it is because Bahuni me vyatitani janmani tavacharjuna tanyaham veda sarvani natvam veda parantapa. I mean, we have both taken many lives, Arjuna, but I remember all the lives, but you don't remember because we are conditioned soul. We don't remember anything, but Krishna knows everything. So how many other lives we have taken? Because Krishna is also coming as Paramatma in us. He knows everything about our past, present, and also what is going to happen in future also. That is why in Vedas, like in Puran, Bhagavatam, everything is given, no? Because the Vedas is coming from Krishna only. And he has already predicted, like so many thousands of years back, it was predicted about all the incarnations, including the all the avatars, and also including the Buddha, which was recent for us. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's also prediction has been given. And even the Kalki, which is going to come at the end of Kali Yuga, is also given. So all this is possible because Krishna is supreme. He is a transcendental. He is not like us. His body is transcendental. No? Janma karma cha me divyam. Krishna's birth and activities both are transcendental. It's not ordinary. You know? And as who is the oldest? So he is the oldest. Why is he said to be oldest? Can someone tell? Why is he oldest? Why is he oldest? You can also put in chat, or you can unmute and answer. Why Krishna is said here to be the oldest? Hare Krishna. You all can unmute and participate, please. Aishwarya Mataji. Ravi Prabhu. Yes. Huh?
He is the supreme controller.
Okay. He's supreme controller. Okay. But why is he said oldest? Why is he oldest? Huh?
He maintains the total material manifestation, everything.
Is there anyone before him? Is there any
No.
entity before him?
No one.
No one. No? That is why he is the oldest. Because
Oh.
everything, whatever emanates, we see in this material world. So everything came after him. Even Lord Brahma, who is said to be the secondary creator. So Krishna is the primary creator who created even Lord Brahma, who is responsible for creation of this material universe and all the living entities. So Krishna, when Krishna was there, nobody else was there, no devatas, no one was there. He alone was there. So he came to this, during Dwapar Yuga in his same transcendental form. So Arjuna is telling that you are the oldest. Who is the oldest? And who is the controller? So everyone controls. Everyone has that controlling nature, but Krishna is the supreme controller. No? One can control his own family, right? His children, or there is some jurisdiction. If he's a boss, maybe he can show his control over his employees. But then the God is supreme controller. So how is he controlling? One is that he's controlling whole, like he is holding this complete universe, like the movement of the planets and everything. It's all holding in place because of Krishna's energy, and also he's controlling through the demigods. No, and these with the help of the sun god, moon god. No, these are through them he controls. So so who is smaller than the smallest? So Anuraniyam Mahato Mahiyam. So he said like Krishna is like he's present in every atom. No, Krishna is said to be present in every atom. That is why he is smaller. He can become smaller than the smallest. And at the same time, he also can be in Goloka, which is also called as inconceivable nature. And who is the maintainer of everything? So Krishna is maintaining everyone, no, from the smallest insect, no, to even the elephants. How such a big animal is getting food? So Krishna is arranging for it. Even an ant, Krishna is arranging for an ant also. No, whenever there is some, we see that something. If we spill some sugar, immediately after some time, a lot of ant we can see. From nowhere it comes. We are surprised from where is it coming, no? But then Krishna is there in the heart of every living entity as Paramatma, and he will guide them. Okay, there is some food there, you can go. So that's how he's maintaining everyone. And we see in chapter 15 how he's even maintaining the subtle part of our body by giving us the remembrance, memory, and these things, right? Matta smriti jnanam apohanam cha. The forgetfulness, memory, and knowledge, everything comes from me. So he's maintaining our body also. And by becoming Chataragni also, Krishna is the fire of digestion. He becomes, and he's maintaining our body, and he is the life air. So all this, and he becomes the taste in the vegetable, no? The moon. The moon is responsible for giving the taste in the vegetable. So this is how Lord is maintaining everyone in this universe, and who is beyond all material conception. So we cannot understand Krishna by our gross senses. Ata Shri Krishna Nama Dina Bhavet Grahyam Indriyai Sevonmukhe Jivvadau Swayame Vaspurati Yadaha. So Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada says, so Krishna's name, pastimes, quality, and all this cannot be perceived by gross senses. Because how can we perceive? He is above all that modes. Krishna does not command. We are in three modes, and Krishna is beyond that material conception. So if we want to understand, so Krishna also says that even the yogis, they meditate on Krishna for millions of years, and then also they are not only able to realize the Paramatma feature, not the complete Bhagwan. So to understand Krishna only through bhakti. So he is beyond all material conception, who is inconceivable. Inconceivable means which is difficult to understand. It's not easy to understand Krishna. Simultaneously one and different. Like in the quality we are same with the Lord, but in the quantity he differs. There's a huge difference. So and he is always a person. He's Purusham. His Purusha means he's a person. So we cannot. So the Mayavadis think that Lord does not have form, but the Creator cannot be lower than a creation. So if He has created us and we have a form, we can enjoy with our senses. How can the Lord will not have senses and the body? He also has everything, but only the difference is all his senses and his body is transcendental, not like us, unlike us. It is material and it deteriorates our this one. But why is Krishna remembering all the lives? Because his body does not deteriorate. There is no difference from Krishna. For Krishna, soul, mind, body, there is no difference. But we have, for us, there is a soul, and then it's covered by subtle body, mind, intelligence, false ego, and then comes the gross, right? So in material universe, the living entities have this five gross elements, but in the other universe, it is a different combination. I mean, it is not of earth, water, fire, air, ether. So it is different. Prabhupada says even in the moon planet, there are higher living entities. So they are higher than us and they have higher senses, and but we cannot enter there. For that, we need to have that body. Even in the sun planet, there is a deity, we know. Sun god is there. So that we should have that body to go there. So Krishna is he's always a person. So he's luminous like the sun. So Krishna, it is said that Jyotishamapi Jyotishamapi tad jyotihi tamasah paramuchyate. So he said to be even in chapter 10, Krishna says that I am the light of all that is glowing, or whatever we see in the material world, which is bright, and that represents the Lord. Even the sun is said to be the eye, Krishna's eye, hot eye. And Prabhupada says the moon is a cold eye and the sun is a hot eye of Lord. So Krishna is luminous, and being transcendental is beyond this material nature. So we think that, right? Why is Krishna telling all this? Practice this, because usually what happens, we naturally think of people who are close to us and whom we are very closely bonded. We think, but then who is more close? Krishna is there in Paramatma, so before we connect with anyone, so he is more close to us as a Paramatma. So, so it is, and he is also coming with us in every life as Paramatma. So we should not forget him. We should always remember him in this way. So even in chapter 7, Krishna says, right, how can we remember him? That he says that I am the taste of the water. I am the fragrance that comes in the earth. In the earth, I am the fragrance. I'm the heat in the sun, and I'm the light and heat in the sun. So he says so many things. How can we see Lord in his energies? So Kavim, Puranam, all born out of him. Anushasitaram, controller. Anuraniyam, smaller than the smallest. Dhataram, one who maintains. What is this? Beyond all material conception, all big planets are floating by his energy. Rupam, always a person. Achintya, inconceivable. Aditya Varnam, luminous like sun. So we can see even the Lord Brahma, right? Whenever they have any problem in the material universe, they meditate on the Kshirodakashayi Vishnu, who is lying on the Kshira, the milk ocean. So he's lying on the Ananta Shesha, and we can see that Lord Brahma is meditating, and also Lord Shiva. They also meditate upon the Supreme Lord. Prayanakale manasachalena bhaktya yukto yoga balena chaiva bhruvor madhye pranamavesha samyak satam param purushamupaiti divyam. One who at the time of death fixes his life air between the eyebrows, and by strength of yoga with an undeviating mind engages himself in remembering the Supreme Lord in full devotion will certainly attain to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So here now Krishna is explaining about different ways of remembering. So this is the yogis do. So this is called as Yoga Mishra Bhakti. No, this is not a pure bhakti because they have a desire to attain Lord. So it could be becoming one with the Lord or the Paramatma feature. No? So here the yogi is concentrating upon, we see in the chapter 6, right, how he externally, how he controls everything, and then he concentrate upon the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Prabhupada says this is not done by the pure devotees. So there are two ways of remembering the Lord. One is the way of the bhaktas, how they engage in the service of the Lord and engage in the devotional service. No? In that way, they associate with the Lord. And the other way is these yogis who meditate upon the Lord by fixing their life air, no? Bringing the air to the near the forehead, and then between the eyebrows, and they are concentrating, and we see that they're staring at the end of the tip of the nose, and the eye should be half closed, and all this we see. So this is also a way of attaining, but this is actually difficult. This we see in chapter 12, where Krishna says that kleshodikatarastesham avyakta saktachetasa. So it is very difficult to path of attaining by concentrating on some impersonal form is very difficult because we are embodied souls. It's difficult for us. Yadaksharam veda vido vadanti vishanti yatayo vitaragaha yadichantu brahmacharyam charanti tatte padam sangrahena pravakshe. Persons who are learned in the Vedas, who utter Omkara, and who are great sages in the renounced order enter into Brahman. Desiring such perfection, one practices celibacy. I shall now briefly explain to you this process by which, what is this? By which one? What is this? It's not complete. Can someone read for me the translation of 8.11? One
May
attains
attain
meaning.
salvation.
Huh?
May attain salvation.
Okay.
The last stream.
By which one may attain salvation. So this basically aksharam. So om iti aksharam. So iti ekaksharam. Right? So no, not that. Yadaksharam veda vido vadanti. So basically, even the om represents Krishna, and akshara. In Prabhupada says in the purport. Yeah. So Omkara is identical with the Brahman or for impersonalist. And in the Vedic age, usually the people used to be taught the Omkara and about the impersonal Brahman, right? So, but actually, this is not possible for Kali Yuga. So for Kali Yuga to meditate upon, because it takes many years for meditation, and we don't live for so many years, very short lived. In Kali Yuga, people are very short lived. Earlier it was 100 years, and now it is coming down, right? Very hardly we see people living for till 70 like that, and further we don't know. Like it is said at the end of Kali Yuga, only 20 years. So what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that Thane stita shrutigatam tanuvam manobihi means whatever ashrama you are in, from there only we can practice. It is not like, see, earlier age, the people used to, the students used to practice celibacy very early from their age, and then they'll go in Gurukul, like the Guru decide which ashrama this boy will go into, suit into, like Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, right? And then accordingly, he will learn, like if he's a Brahmana, then he will learn the Brahmanical preachings will be given to him. And if he's a Kshatriya, he'll be taught how to fight, right? With the weapons and all the all those vidya will be taught to him, right? So basically, that life is not possible in Kali Yuga. So whatever we are, so Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that whichever ashrama you are, either it is brahmachari, grihastha, vanaprastha, sannyasi, whatever facility we have, in that we have to chant the name of the Lord. So this is actually for the impersonalist here. It is being said for the impersonalist. Sarvadvarani sanyamya manohridi nirudyaya murtnadhyayatmanah pranam asito yoga dharanam. The yogic situation is that of attachment from all sensual engagements, closing all the doors of the senses and fixing mind on the heart and the life air at the top of the head, one established himself in the yoga. So what is yogic situation means? Basically getting detached from all the sensual engagement. So we see that pratyahara, no, the all the stages we see in the Ashtanga Yoga. So this is similar to that. He keeps himself away from everything, from the family, and he in a secluded place he sits and meditates, and closing all the door of senses and fixing the mind. So mind, so he don't have any connection with his family or anything. So completely devoid of all that, all the external factors. Now he is fixing with the mind in the on the heart where Paramatma resides, right? And then this person is said to be established in yoga. So this is concentrating on. So this is Paramatma teacher. So even here also Krishna in the previous sloka also he explained that it is possible by doing this to attain liberation. But only thing is it will take many years and it is not complete. Om ityekaksharam brahma vyaharan mamanusmaran yah prayati tyajan deham sayati paramam gatim. After being situated in this yoga practice and vibrating the sacred syllable Om, the supreme combination of letters, if one thinks of Supreme Personality of Godhead and quits his body, he certainly reached the spiritual planet. So Om is said to be the representation of Krishna himself because it is a sound representation. Krishna says also, like even in chapter 10, Krishna says that that I am the representation. Om is Krishna's representation. That is why in all the Vedic mantras, it starts with Om. But Hare Krishna mantra does not have Om because it has Krishna's name itself. The name Namna Makari Bhakta Nija Sarva Shaktis. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that, oh Lord, your name, Namna Makari Bahuda, you have many names. No? Krishna is called by different names. Govinda, Keshava, Madhava. But and in every name, same potency is being there. So we should not think that only if Krishna is there, there is a full potency. But even in his name, the same potency Lord has kept. So out of mercy. That is why we chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, right? Yeah. So this shloka from 10 to 13 speak about the Yoga Mishra Bhakti. So we can see in the 10.10, he is actually, this is called Sat Chakra Yoga, where the yogi, he raised the life air to Agna Chakra. And then in 8.11, it's about the chanting of Omkara. And then 8.12 speaks about the renounced sense gratification, especially the sex life. And then 8.12, it speaks about fixing the mind on the heart, that is on Paramatma. So Prabhupada says here, describe Yoga Mishra Bhakti. All these practice assist yogis in remembering Krishna. They are not end in themselves. So they are not the highest actually. Because we know which is the highest realization is Bhagwan realization. Fixing the mind on Bhagwan feature. So, Omkara is also a representation of impersonal representation of the Lord. But the devotees are interested in the form of the Lord, actual form of the Lord. They meditate upon the Lord, and they can go to. There are many innumerable planets, Vaikuntha planets, where devotees can go based on their what bhav they have to serve the Lord. So, section 4. Pure devotional service, remembrance of Krishna through bhakti. By constant engagement in devotional service, one who undeviatingly remembers Krishna easily attains the Lord's abode, far from this miserable material world. So Krishna explains this material world to be miserable. Ananya cheta satatam yo mam smarati nityashah tasyaham sulabha partha nitya yuktasya yoginaha. For one who always remembers me without deviation, I am easy to obtain, O son of Pritha, because of his constant engagement in devotional service. So earlier we saw, right, the yogis in Yoga Mishra Bhakti. Why it is called Yoga Mishra Bhakti? Because there is no pure devotion. Pure devotion is defined as Anyabhilashita Shunyam. So they should not be, there is zero. Anyabhilashita means there is no other desire. Jnana karmadi anavritam. It should not have any, like by knowledge. One should not meditate for getting some knowledge, or jnana karma adi, not by fruitive activities, and jnana karmadi anavritam. Anukulena Krishnanu Shilanam Bhakti Uttamam. So whatever is pleasing to Lord, doing in that way, that is the highest bhakti. So here Krishna explained earlier the 8 to 12, right? The shlokas about the Yoga Mishra Bhakti, where the he has to do a lot of endeavor. His own on his own, the yogi has to do first control his senses and all. But then the bhakta does not control his senses. He only dovetails. He uses his senses in service of God, and that is the highest. Here Krishna is also saying that one who remembers me without deviation, I am easy to obtain. So there Krishna is not easy to obtain, right? It takes many millions of years, because that is what said in even in Brahma Samhita. Pantastu koti shatavatsara sampragamyo vayo ratapi manaso munipungavanam sopyastri yat prapadasini avichintya tatve govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. Pantastu koti shatavatsara sampragamyo. So the devotee, the yogi meditates upon the Lord for many years by controlling his the breath. No, only after that many years he is able to see the God. So, but here Krishna says, but if you in devotional service, I am very easy to obtain. So it's not difficult. Anyone can. I mean, Prabhupada says that. If we sincerely, if we surrender to Lord, it is 1 minute to realize God. But then we don't have that sincerity. No, that is why we are chanting so many rounds. Prabhupada has given minimum 16 rounds, and that 16 rounds also we are not able to concentrate. The mind goes here and there. So very attentively we need to chant, and we need to think that is not different from Lord. So we are actually, yeah.
Yeah, I have a question once. Why we chant only 16 rounds of Hare Krishna?
No, that is minimum actually. Prabhupada has given. Actually, Prabhupada, when he went to West, he gave 64. Actually, his Guru Maharaj, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada, he had instructed 64 rounds. Okay. And then when Prabhupada went to West, he gave 64 rounds. They were not able to do, right? So, and then Prabhupada brought it down to 32. Still, they were not able to do. And then Prabhupada said, okay, I'm bringing down to 16 and this is final. And this is possible for a spiritual master. He can decide and Krishna will also oblige. And Prabhupada said that if you follow 4 regulative principles and follow chant 16 rounds, right? I will take you to, I mean, Goloka from backside Prabhupada said. And Krishna already says, no, Name Bhaktya Pranashyati. I mean, my devotee will never fail. When a devotee promise something, Krishna will take care of it. So basically, Prabhupada had reduced to 16, but does not, that means minimum. So whenever it is possible, we have to do more. It is not like why only 16. If you see that our this bag, no, I mean the Sakshi Mala, if you see, right, this is the Sakshi Mala, right? So if you see this, you have here 4, you can see the extra 4. Actually, it is 16 4s are 64. Like every 16 rounds, yeah, every 16 rounds we have to do 1. And it was like that actually, it was introduced. That is why we have 20 beats. So the 4 beats are like every 16 rounds, 1 we have to bring it down. And so it was like that. So it is not 16 Prabhu. I mean, like we know, like Haridas Thakur, right? He used to chant 192 rounds. And even Jagai Magai, after they were initiated by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they were also doing more than 190 rounds. So we think that they are very fallen, but actually once they no, I mean they once after forgiving, when after Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructed them, they became really good devotees, right? So yeah, Hare Krishna. So Krishna says here that I am very easy to attain. So the pure devotees can go to the heavenly planet. No, I mean not. I mean sorry. Pure devotees are not interested in the heavenly planets and not in Brahma Jyoti. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that Bhukti Mukti Siddhi Kami Sakale Ashanti Krishna Bhakta Eva Shanta Krishna Bhakta Nishkama Ateva Shanta. So this Bhakti Mukti means this karmi people or this jnani, nobody is happy. They are all unhappy. Siddhi Kami, I mean the siddhis. Why they are all unhappy? Because they have some desire. So when that is not fulfilled, they get agitated, frustrated, because long time, so many years they have to meditate, and sometimes when that is not happening, they get fed up and they may give up. So they all are so there it is not pure devotion, but the Krishna Bhakta Nishkama. Nishkama means he don't have any desire. So he is okay, like even he is ready to go to any place. I mean, but he only desires that there should be association of devotees and he should be able to serve the Lord. That's all he wishes. That never forget Krishna. That's all. So I saw a hand rise. Yes, Digant Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Mataji, what is the difference between Om and Hare Krishna? Here it's
Om
saying
is a
Om.
yeah. Om is a representation. It is not sound representation, but it's an impersonal representation. There is no form there. No? Krishna only, but impersonal representation of the Lord. Just like Krishna gives his different energies, he explains in the chapter 7, right? So similarly, this is Om is also Krishna, but it is not complete representation. It is the impersonal representation of the Lord. Is it clear, Prabhu?
Yes.
मामुपेत्य पुनर्जन्म दुःखालयमशाश्वतं नाप्नुवन्ति महात्मानः संसिद्धिं परमां गताः. After attaining me, the great souls who are yogis in devotion never return to this temporary world, which is full of miseries, because they have attained the highest perfection. So once the great devotees, like I mean, after they're engaged in devotion, so once they go to the spiritual planet, then there is no way, I mean, there is no never they will return. No? Krishna says even in chapter 4 also. Janma karma cha me divyam evam yoveti tatvatah tyaktva deham punarjanma naiti mameti sorjuna. Whoever understand my transcendental nature, my quality and my birth, that it is not normal, it's transcendental, right? So that person, after attaining my planet, he will never return. Again, there is no birth for such living entity. So he says that this never return to this temporary world, which is full of miseries. So this material world is full of miseries. We have Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadi, Dukkha Doshanudarshan. So Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadi we have, and also there are secondary miseries, which are Adi Daiva, Adhyatmika Klesha, which is causing from one's own body and mind. Adi Daivika Klesha, which is caused by the demigods in the form of famine, flood, right? And all the natural calamities that come. So that is, and then we have Adi Bhautika Klesha, which is caused by other living entities. So that is why this material world, Krishna is saying, it is full of miseries. So he's giving all clarity to us in Bhagavad Gita, so that what should be our real goal. And actually, it is said, Krishna in chapter 15 says, how can we get out of this material world? So he says that you have to cut the tree of attachment. So only through detachment. And how do we get this detachment? When we understand this material world, that it is temporary and it is full of misery. So because such people will not, will attain the highest planet, which is beyond our material vision. And further Krishna says, Abrahma bhuvana lokaha punaravartinorjuna mamupetyatu kaunteya punarjanmana vidyate. From the highest planet in the material world down to the lowest are all places of misery, wherein repeated birth and death take place. But one who attains my abode, O son of Kunti, never take birth again. So why, when people say, why should we not do pious deeds, helping, helping the poor, or doing all those things. So, but the thing is, you can do, but then you have to come back again, because you have done the pious deed, you have to get the return of it, right, in the next life. So to take that, we have to come again. So that is why it becomes binding. So Krishna says here, even if somebody goes to Brahma's planet also, there is there is no escape of birth and death. So only it is not there. We know that Brahma's every day, when even Brahma, after he lives for 311 trillion years, so he also has to die, right? So there are many people who go to Brahma's planet. So those people, if they are engaged in devotional service, obviously they go to higher planets, like they can go to Vaikuntha Lokas. And even Brahma, nothing will happen to Brahma. Prabhupada gives in the purport that nothing will happen to Brahma, because he is always meditating upon the Lord. Yeah. So this was given by Baladeva Vidyabhushan, who comments that this, at the time of devastation of this material universe, Brahma and all his associate or his devotees were constantly meditating upon Supreme Personality of Godhead. They achieved the spiritual planet. But here we see that everything is painful. Even then, heaven also there's a war. No, always Indra also is in anxiety. Many times he runs to Lord Vishnu, or so many. Devatas are the demons will come and trouble them. And Earth is also always there is a problem here in earthly planet, and hell is just a pain. So section 5, comparing the material and spiritual worlds. Glories of Supreme Abode. Material world is continually being created and destroyed. Beyond this ocean of creation and destruction lies Krishna's abode, where he is present and can be attained only by an alloyed devotion. By human calculation, 1,000 ages taken together from the duration of Brahma's one day, and such also is the duration of his night. Right? So we know, yesterday I told you, like how the Brahma's day is calculated. So the 4 yugas together, right? 4 yugas together into 1,000. That is Brahma's one day, which is called as Kalpa. So like that, Brahma lives for 100 years. Yeah. At the beginning of Brahma's day, all living entities become manifest from the unmanifest stage, and thereafter, when the night falls, they all merged into the unmanifest again. So usually, before we come into existence, we get this material body. We are in the unmanifest stage, in the slumber, right? So, but then when when the creation happened, when Brahma morning he gets up and he starts creation every day, his Brahma's day. So that time again, all the living entities who are in unmanifest stage, they come out and they start from where it was stopped, right? Whatever was there in the previous, as per their karma and all that, from there they start again. Again and again, when Brahma's day arrives, all living entities come into being, and with arrival of Brahma's night, they are helplessly annihilated. So bhutva bhutva praliyate. No, again and again, they helplessly, because they have to go through that painful birth and death. So that is why Krishna is saying, like, helplessly, we don't have a choice. Attaining the supreme. Cyclic creation and annihilation. So it's just like for this previous one, I'd just like to add. So it is just like in a material world, right? So when we want to go somewhere, we hire a vehicle, na? We hire some vehicle for a day trip, and then if we are wasting the time, then we are not able to reach the destination. So similarly, we have hired this vehicle, that is the body, whatever body we have got now, that soul has hired a particular body. But then if we are not using wisely, then destination, the reaching Krishna's abode will be getting late. I mean, if we are more attached to this material world, or engaged in some daydreaming or some gossiping or watching only movies, TV and enjoyment. So what happens? We are diverted from what is actual goal. We forget our purpose. So in a way, if we make our life suitable for spiritual practice, then it becomes, life will be more purposeful. We can live more purposeful life. So Brahma's day, at the beginning of Brahma day, all living entities become manifest from the unmanifest stage. So this is the same. No? So Brahma's night, at night of Brahma, they are merged into the unmanifest again. So now Krishna says that higher to this, there is my word. So what is? Parastasmatu bhavonyah avyakto vyaktat sanatanaha yassa sarveshu bhuteshu nashyatsu navinashyati. Yet there is another nature which is eternal and is transcendental to this manifested and unmanifested matter. It is supreme and is never annihilated. When all in this world is annihilated, that part remains as it is. So when even Brahma's Loka also get annihilated after 100 years, but then nothing happens to spiritual world. So to the spiritual sky. So this is explained even in Brahma Samhita. Okay, we'll read that shloka. So this is from Brahma Samhita 5.56. Shriya Kanta Kanta Parama Purusha Kalpataravu Druma Bhumis Chintamani Ganamayi Toyam Amrutam Katha Ganam Natyam Gamanam Api Vamshi Priya Sakhi Chidanandam Jyotit Paramapi Tad Aswadyam Apicha Sayatra Kshirabdi Shravati Surabhibhyascha Sumahan Nimesharthakyo Vavrajati Nahi Yatrapi Samayaha भजे श्वेतद्वीपं तमहं इह गोलोकम् इति यं विदन्तस्ते सन्ताक्षिति विरलाचारा कटिपये गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि. Someone can read the translation. This is about the Goloka. Lord Brahma explains how is Goloka. So we can just get an idea how is the supreme planet, supreme Lord's planet. Yeah. Please read the translation.
Hare Krishna Mataji, may I?
Yeah, please, ma'am.
I worship that transcendental seat known as Svetadvipa, whereas loving concerts, the Lakshmis in their unalloyed spiritual essence, practice the amorous service of the Supreme Lord Krishna as their only lover, where every tree is a transcendental purpose tree, where the soil is the purpose gem, all water is nectar, every word is a song, every gate is a dance, the flute is the favorite attendant, effulgence is full of transcendental bliss, and the supreme spiritual entities are all enjoyable and tasty, where numberless milk cows always emit transcendental oceans of milk, where there is eternal existence of transcendental time, who is ever present and without past or future, and hence is not subject to the quality of passing away even for the space of half a moment. That realm is known as Goloka only to very few self-realized souls in this world. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. Yeah, so this is the description of Goloka. So we can see that many thousands of Lakshmis are always serving to the Lord. And see, one thing we can see here, there is no past, present, future. So Krishna is eternally the same. So if Krishna is like a for Yashoda Maya, he's always that small little Krishna only. He never grows up. So it's always eternally he's in that form. So and Krishna is another form, whoever for gopis and Srimad Radharani. So he'll be like a 16-year-old boy, right? So he's the same. So this is explanation of the Goloka, and we can see this in Goloka chart, right? And so that which the Vedantists describe as unmanifest and infallible, that which is known as supreme destination, that place from which having attained it, one never returns. That is my supreme abode. The supreme personality of Godhead, who is greater than all, is attainable by unalloyed devotion. Although he is present in his abode, he is all pervading and everything is situated within him. So this is again Achintya Veda Abheda Tattva. So Krishna actually says he is there within everything and he is not without also. Because he is there in Goloka also, right? He is outside, which we cannot conceive. We cannot conceive anything beyond the material universe. Even the scientists cannot perceive. But Krishna is there even in the spiritual world, and also he is maintaining everyone as well. So through his energy, right? So everywhere his energies are there. So absolute nature, Krishna's abode is not different from him. Eternal, there is no death and birth, and the four miseries and no miseries are not there in the spiritual world. So it's infallible. Krishna's superior energy is opposite to material energy in quality. Unlimited bliss opposed to material world, which is full of miseries. Fulfills all desire, that is the desire. All attractive. Unmanifest to mundane eyes. It's not visible. So transcendental to manifest and unmanifest. Supreme destination. A place of no return. The supremacy of devotion in attaining the Supreme. Attaining the Supreme through mystic yoga. Supremacy of bhakti in attaining the Supreme. So now Krishna explains here, like certain time, what will be the destination of yogis when they leave at certain time. No? Yatra kale avrittim chaiva yoginaha prayata yanti tam kalam vakshami bharatashabha. O best of the Bharatas, I shall now explain to you the different time at which passing away from this world, the yogi does or does not come back. So this is again for the yogis, not for the pure devotees. So for Prabhupada says, pure devotees are not concerned with the time and place and all that, no, because Krishna will take care of them. They are not fearful. I mean, they're completely dependent on Lord and they don't mind whatever the place and time. So they will go back to Godhead, irrespective of when they leave their body. So those who know the Supreme Brahman attain that Supreme by passing away from the world during the influence of fiery God in the light at an auspicious moment of the day, during the fortnight of waxing moon, or during the 6 months when the sun travels in the north. So even Bhishma Dev, he had that, actually he's a pure devotee anyways, he would have gone to the Vaikuntha, and also when he was dying, he died in front of, by seeing the four-handed form of the Lord, because he wanted to see that form of the Lord. He was attached to the four-handed form of the Lord, and so he does not go to Goloka, he went to Vaikuntha. So he also in Uttarayan, no, it is said like he left his body in Uttarayan, like almost like 6 months he was lying on that bed of arrows, and he left after that. So here it said like during a daytime, so I mean the moon has different phases. So it is said waxing moon. During the fortnight of a waxing moon, so this, when a sun travels in the north, so that time when a person leaves, so that person will not come back again during the day. And the mystic who passes away from this world during the smoke, that is during the night, the fortnight of waning moon, it's called waning moon, or the 6 months when the sun passed to the south, reach the moon planet but again comes back. So this person who lives at this stage, so he will again return back to this material world. See, after doing all so much of many years he does yoga, but if that he is not able to leave the body at a certain time, then he will return. So they know how to, these mystics, they have that power to choose the place and time to leave their body, right? So this has been explained here. So the yogis are gnanis, no? This is for leaving the body in light, and they can attain this Brahma Jyoti. So that is also, see, it's only partial realization of God. They go to Brahma Jyoti. Brahma Jyoti means it's end of miseries, yes. But then again, there is no service, there is no happiness. The blissful is not there. Because in Brahman realization, there is only a Sat feature. Sat is becoming eternal. But then the Chit and Ananda is not there. The blissful is not there. So the Karma Kandis are in darkness, and they can attain heavenly planet, and they return, but they return to earth. Then they return to earth after that. So Karma Kandis means who engage in the sacrifices based on the scriptures which is given in Vedas. So, and the devotee, there's no time period, any time. So he can still attain Krishna Loka. Naite Sriti Partha Janan Yogi Muhyati Kaschana Tasmat Sarveshu Kaleshu Yoga Yukto Bhavarjuna. Although the devotees know these two paths, O Arjuna, they are never bewildered. Therefore, be always fixed in devotion. So the devotees are never bewildered. So they are because they are always engaged in the service of the Lord. So uh, uh, bewildered means they are not afraid that what will be the my destination, what will happen to me after this life, because they are fearless, no? The abhayam. So the devotee of the Lord is always fearless. So. So directly is engaged in the direct path, that is devotional service. So he can go to the spiritual planet. This is last shloka. Very important shloka. Vedeshu yajneshu tapassu chaiva daneshu yat punya phalam pratishtam atyeti tat sarvamidam viditva yogi param sthanam upaiti chadyam. A person who accepts the path of devotional service is not bereft of the results derived from studying the Vedas, performing austere sacrifices, giving charity, or pursuing philosophical and fruitive activities. At the end, he reaches the supreme abode. So this explains this is a satisfying thing for a devotee, because he may not be afraid by seeing the yogis, they're doing so much of austerity. What will happen to me? I have not studied the Vedas. So Krishna says here, there's no need to worry about it. Whatever the people are getting by doing the we may think, no, oh, if I'm not doing charity, so what will happen? I mean, there are no pious deeds or anything. So Krishna says whatever benefits one is going to get by doing the studying of Vedas, or performing austerity, giving charity, or all this, one will get by devotional service. So if one takes into devotional service, everything else is there. So Prabhupada says, so there is a 1,000 rupees, 10,000 rupees note. So in that, if you want, the 1,000 rupees is already there. Huh? So it is like Krishna consciousness we are taking. It is everything else is already there in that. So no need to worry. So we can read this purport from the this one. Second, I will share the purport. You can read because it's important shloka. Okay. Someone can read. Okay, who wants to read can unmute and can start reading from the translation. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, please read.
Purport, Mataji.
You can start. Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can start with purport. You just read the translation.
Okay. Translation. A person who accepts the path of devotional service is not bereft of the results derived from studying the Vedas, performing sacrifices, undergoing austerities, giving charity, or pursuing philosophical and fruitive activities. Simply by performing devotional service, he attains all these, and at the end, he reaches the supreme eternal abode. Purport. This verse is the summation of the 7th and 8th chapters, which particularly deal with Krishna consciousness and devotional service. One has to study the Vedas under the guidance of the spiritual master and undergo many austerities and penances while living under his care. A brahmachari has to live in the home of the spiritual master just like a servant, and he must beg alms from door to door and bring them to the spiritual master. He takes food only under the master's order. And if the master neglects to call the student for food that day, the student fasts. These are some of the Vedic principles for observing brahmacharya. After the student studies the Vedas under the master, for some time, at least from age 5 to 20, he becomes a man of perfect character. Study of the Vedas is not meant for the recreation of armchair speculators, but for the formation of character. After this training, the brahmachari is allowed to enter into household life and marry. When he is a householder, he has to perform many sacrifices so that he may achieve further enlightenment. He must also give charity according to the country, time, and candidate, discriminating among charity in goodness, in passion, and in ignorance, as described in Bhagavad Gita. Then, after retiring from household life, upon accepting the order of Vanaprastha, he undergoes severe penances, living in forests, dressing with tree bark, not shaving, etc. By carrying out the orders of Brahmacharya, householder life, Vanaprastha, and finally Sannyasa, one becomes elevated to the perfectional stage of life. Some are then elevated to the heavenly kingdoms, and when they become even more advanced, they are liberated in the spiritual sky, either in the impersonal Brahma Jyotir or in the Vaikuntha planets or Krishna Loka. This is the path outlined by Vedic literatures. The beauty of Krishna consciousness, however, is that by one stroke, by engaging in devotional service, one can surpass all the rituals of the different orders of life. The words idam viditva indicate that one should understand the instructions given by Sri Krishna in this chapter and the 7th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. One should try to understand these chapters not by scholarship or mental speculation, but by hearing them in association with devotees. Chapters 7 through 12 are the essence of Bhagavad Gita. The first 6 and the last 6 are like coverings for the middle 6 chapters, which are especially protected by the Lord. If one is fortunate enough to understand Bhagavad Gita, especially these middle 6 chapters, in the association of devotees, then his life at once becomes glorified beyond all penances, sacrifices, charities, speculations, etc. For one can achieve all the results of these activities simply by Krishna consciousness. One who has a little faith in Bhagavad Gita should learn Bhagavad Gita from a devotee, because in the beginning of the 4th chapter, it is stated clearly that Bhagavad Gita can be understood only by devotees. No one else can perfectly understand the purpose of Bhagavad Gita. One should therefore learn Bhagavad Gita from a devotee of Krishna, not from mental speculators. This is a sign of faith. When one searches for a devotee and fortunately gets a devotee's association, one actually begins to study and understand Bhagavad Gita. By advancement in the association of the devotee, one is placed in devotional service. And this service dispels all one's misgivings about Krishna or God and Krishna's activities, form, pastimes, name, and other futures. After these misgivings have been perfectly cleared away, one becomes fixed in one's study. Then one relishes the study of Bhagavad Gita and attains the state of feeling always Krishna conscious. In the advanced stage, one falls completely in love with Krishna. This highest perfectional stage of life enables the devotee to be transferred to Krishna's abode in the spiritual sky, Goloka Vrindavana, where the devotee becomes eternally happy. Thus, end the Bhakti Vedanta purports to the 8th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita in the matter of attaining the Supreme. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. Yeah, so we can understand that we need not worry about like how we are going to get all those benefits, or how do we do so much of austerity. So Prabhupada clearly explains here that just by following the Krishna consciousness under the guidance of a spiritual master and in association of devotees, when we learn, we can attain that perfection, right? So it needs faith, and also he says the highest perfection is love for God. That is the highest perfection in life. So Shraddha, it all starts with the 9 stages now. Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha. Shraddha means the faith, and Sadhu Sangha in the association of devotees. Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha, Bhajana Kriya. And so that is the 3rd stage, Bhajana Kriya. So it is either taking into initiation from spiritual master, or the 2 things Prabhupada says. So he also says that Bhajana Kriya is the studying of the scriptures and knowing in more into detail. So bhajana kriya, then happens the anartha nivritti. So all the anarthas will go from the heart, will get cleansed, and then comes nishtha. Nishtha means becoming fixed in bhakti. So I mean, there's no. I mean, I will become like if I'm chanting, getting up in the morning or chanting 16 rounds and keeping offering hope to Lord. So all this become like a habit. I mean, we become fixed in that. So that is nishtha. And then ruchi, you develop ruchi. When you start doing that, slowly we start getting taste in the devotional service, reading Prabhupada books and in the association of devotees. And then asakti. Asakti, asakti means attachment. So this is like, we know, na, just like how in material thing we associate with something and we get attached. So similarly, dhyayato vishayan punsa sangasteshu upajayate. So whatever we contemplate upon, we get attached to. So similarly, we are contemplating more on God, we become attached to God. No? And then asakti, then bhava and prema. So bhava is like highest, like Bharat Maharaj actually was in bhava stage when he fell down from the this. So, but that was just a example where I mean, we have examples for all that we have in Bhagavad Gita, the pastimes in Bhagavatam, right? How during the end of life, how one should meditate, how dangerous it is. Like he thought about deer and he fall down, even though he was in bhava stage. So, but then again, after 2 more lives, Krishna took him back to the spiritual world, right? In the Jadavarata life. So, so after that, it is the love, that is prema, the highest. So that is highest in. So that all these are all comes in the devotional service only. So no other yoga. Only by devotional service one can attain perfection and go back to Godhead. Okay, this we end today's chapter. Any questions you may ask related to today's chapter? Hare Krishna. Yes, Digant Prabhu. Hare
Mataji,
Krishna.
you missed out, you skipped, in fact, the 3 shlokas, 24, 25, 26. It talks about interplanetary travel or time travel, reincarnation.
What is that shloka?
24, 25, 26.
I didn't read it, or I didn't.
Yes, ma'am, you skipped. You straight away went from 23 to 27.
Okay, in my PPT, it was not there, you're saying, is it?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
What was the shloka number?
24, 25, 26.
No, that I read, no? 24,
No.
25 was there. See, the 24 speaks about the passing away during the day, and 25 speaks about passing during the night. And yeah,
Okay, yes.
26, I think I didn't read.
Yes, 26 too.
Yeah, 26 I have not read. Yeah, it was there in the slide, but I have not read. Let me check. Open it 1 second. Okay, I didn't know that it is here. I don't know if I read or not.
No, this you missed.
Him, there are 2 ways of passing from this world, one in light and one in darkness.
Darkness.
When one passes in light, he does not come back. But when he passes in darkness,
Passes in.
I think I mentioned this. Yeah. Anything else? Hare Krishna. Okay, anybody has anything? And please, if any of you have not marked the attendance, you can mark. I'm posting once again.
Mataji, I have a small problem with chanting. So I'm not able to chant 16 rounds because I'm getting like really diverted. So sometimes like I stop with 4, but it's not regular. Like I'm not able to concentrate so much. So I was
How many rounds you chant regularly, Mataji?
4 right now.
4.
Yeah. Because that's what I'm able to keep up. I used to like occasionally on Ekadasis do like 16 rounds. But it was like very hard to concentrate. I can't like sit and do it at a stretch, or even if I do it throughout the day.
So what time do you chant usually? Every day?
I do it in the evening, Mataji. Say what, somewhere between 5 to 7.
So can you try to do in the early morning? Because usually what happens during the evening after that, it's very difficult to concentrate, obviously, because during the day you have, I mean, you go through so many different things in the office. It could be in office, or I don't know if you're working, or so many different thoughts come to mind. So usually in the early morning, it is more at peaceful. Mind is at calm. Try to chant
Yes.
early morning. Usually that is why it is recommended in Brahma Muhurta, no? So
Yeah.
we do, I mean, devotees join together and chant in the temple link. So if possible, you can try to do 4 rounds with the devotees, Mataji. You can join in the temple link, and from 5 o'clock it starts. So you can chant and see. For this week, give, I mean, tell your mind that 1 week, right? Anything if you do for 21 days, it is said it becomes a habit. So start to chant in the early morning. I think then
Problem is,
maybe not.
yeah, I don't get up that early because I sleep a bit late. So I wake up like 8 or something like that. So
Yeah. So what is the
I
reason
cannot.
your work? I mean, your work
Okay.
is
Yeah, I'm
schedule is
working. Yeah, I work at home. I'm doing work from home, but I finish my thing around like 12:01 because I work
oh
according to the
so
US
late.
UK time. Yeah.
Okay, okay, okay,
So
okay.
because of that
So that
timing,
is difficult.
I'm not able to match it. Yeah, correct.
So whenever you get up morning, first thing you can do that, no? After bath,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
can
That
chant.
I can do. So.
Yeah, you can just start instead of after ending during the day, because that time obviously it will be like only the finishing of task, like you will feel like how somehow I have to finish this chanting, no? During the day
Yeah.
means if it becomes like that, like something you have committed, so you have to complete. So better try to do it in the morning,
Yes,
and
yes, Mataji.
yeah, maybe yeah, for your timing it's difficult. You cannot. Uh,
Yeah, do it that early, but yeah, I'll try to get up if possible. I'll try like slowly, but
no, I
yeah,
think it may affect your health, Mataji. Take care of your health also, because we need at least 6 hours sleep,
yes,
right?
right.
So 6 hours is required. Only thing is, see that the environment is quiet, and where you are chanting actually, like if everybody are there or in the TV room or
Mataji,
music room.
I chant in an empty room where there's no one there.
Okay, so that is better.
Like I chant in the
So
puja room mostly.
okay, there should not be much disturbance actually when you are chanting. I mean, and keep your mobile away and see that the distractions are less. Try to then concentrate on chanting, or you can play Prabhupada chanting. That's what we do in the morning time
Okay.
while chanting together. Usually put the Prabhupada chanting, and along with that we chant.
The one
But
you play
some,
before this session, that one
yeah,
mostly.
same thing.
Okay.
I mean, there is a fast chanting also. Like if we, there is some 5-6 minutes chanting also, Prabhupada chanting.
Okay.
So, but actually, it is better to hear your own voice. When you're chanting, you have to hear.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
tell the chanting loudly. So
yeah, that is good. You have to hear only loudly. So,
okay.
yeah. So
I'll
concentrate
try Mataji.
basically. Yeah, you have to try that. I think you first try it out and let me know.
Yes, Mataji. I'll let you know next week. Yeah. I'll try it this week.
Sure, sure.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Okay. Anything else? Anyone has any questions? No? If there are no other questions, then we can close. वाञ्छा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः अनन्तकोटि वैष्णववृन्दिके च नमाचार्य हरिदास ठाकुर की जय श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय हरे कृष्णा can we chant 3 times Hare Krishna? Hare, you can
Hare
all
Krishna.
answer.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna
Hare
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 Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
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 Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare
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 Rama, Hare Rama,
Rama
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 Rama,
Hare
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 Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna Krishna
Krishna
Hare Hare
Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Rama
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 Rama,
Hare Hare
Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare
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 Hare,
Hare
Hare
Rama
Rama, Hare Rama,
Rama
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 Rama,
Hare Hare.
Hare Hare.
Thank you everyone for joining. See you all next week. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Mataji.
Mataji.
Thank you so
Thank you
very
so
nice
much.
class, Mataji. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Hare Krishna.